If anyone's free, lots of people here will be involved in the next one too. This is Ninja Bob. Everyone say hey Ninja Bob.
Hey Ninja Bob.
This is Carice. Everyone say hey Carice.
Hey Carice.
I'm Jenny. Everyone say hi Jenny.
Hi.
Hi everyone. Cool. And so next up we've got some wonderful storytelling from Cynthia Rodriguez.
Okay. I'm starting. I've chosen a few stories about love and on love, and this is a story of someone who falls in love for the first time again. It's called First Crush. You're never too old to have your first celebrity crush, are you? Oh dear, this is embarrassing, but this is how I feel. When the country was celebrating the end of the Second World War, my mom was celebrating the end of her second pregnancy. I came into a household full of poverty but optimism. Everything was possible now that the snake was split open and turned into a pair of boots. The pill was invented while I was dating the future father of my children. We never needed it because I like being in control of my moods. And he found it easy to be in control of his urges. A positive smear test a couple of decades later proved so, but it was okay. I was fine with being married by the 80s, as my oldest son was in university and my youngest daughter was a part-time assistant at Evans. She got me good deals and good frocks. Lady Di was having affairs, but no one in my family did. No women, I mean. We have no gingers in our bloodline. But when my second cousin removed Aida had a son 2 shades darker, her fiancé broke a table. The coffee table we gave him as a housewarming present. I was cross. We couldn't get a car wood sale when we could have easily got something for ourselves instead. There was a full-body mirror I particularly liked, but family's family. Even little Nathan. I mean, he's Aida's child after all, and he takes me to the chemist when I make my usual consultation. He's a jolly good driver. His mic smells of strawberries. At the turn of the century, my husband started to forget about me. I don't know if it has to do with the box and everything. It's not like he was living in the house at all. Apparently I was an intruder in his life, and he would poke me with a fork every now and then. Then he forgot about our children and grandchildren, all 3 of each. Then he forgot about himself. Then he forgot to breathe. Little Nathan had a child in primary school. His name is Clark, and he looks just like him. Definitely his son, definitely part of our family. Our Aida calls him rotten. It's quite funny because his name is Clark and he loves Superman. His name is Clark, isn't it? Is it Pete? All I remember is that he went through a stage where all he watched was the new Superman movie. The one with the Muppets lady. She's not funny there, but Superman is excellent. Whoever played Superman was excellent. Beautiful, actually. Henry Cavill is his name. He's from dear old Blighty but works in Hollywood. I wish he stayed here so I could go and visit him and make him many babies. I've said I'm old and barren before, but he can't reignite my passion anytime. When I saw him on that video, I just stood and didn't pay attention to anything else. I was mentally babysitting. That big Clark was more interesting than little Clark. He could have set the house on fire, but I'd already flooded my basement. Henry Cavill was my first celebrity crush because no one has been as perfect as him. Kids today and yesterday ruined their hair to achieve that with liters and liters of gel. If James Dean were alive, he'd be bald as a baby's bum. But my Henry makes no effort and he's flawless. It's not just the hair, but that spotless face. Those deep blue eyes like the Atlantic Ocean, that nose fit for the gods, that chin superb like an angel's thumbprint. And what about those juicy, juicy lips? I've never kissed anyone besides Rory, bless him, but I secretly rehearse in my pillow, and they probably feel like clouds. I'm not saying this just because I'm kissing my pillow. Maybe through kissing only I kiss many girls? I hope you got to kiss boys because I feel very inadequate. Or I either moved a long time ago, and little Clark's Robert Randall is a Swedish butcher in a chat room. Why couldn't I move along? Why couldn't I learn from her? Or from her fiancé Colin, who paid for that coffee table with the help of a Harris twice my age? Why couldn't I get a guy like Colin? Well, not like Colin, but someone jumping to it. Maybe more gifted in the last apartment. I mean, obviously. Someone like Henry. Why can't I be with Henry? Wikipedia says that Henry broke his engagement like Colin. He got to escape on time before his insides went all wrong. I wonder if he minds me all broken and naive. Old, broken and naive. He needs no sugar mama. He's from Jersey. He's already filthy rich. He has somewhere safe to go. I want somewhere safe to go. Our kids aren't safe enough. They're the father's dog. They're father's children. Nathan Smith isn't having another Clark. Doctor says it's a Louise though. They need to be there for the new girl of steel. Where do I go? Can Harry Cabot get me somewhere to stay in Hollywood, in Jersey, in London, in New York? Can he find someone who's starting to forget herself? Sorry, for that. Someone who forgot herself a long time ago, since the Second World War. Please tell him. I'll take the guest room. I'll take the couch. We're in Leicester, and we're talking again about another platonic love story based on one of our finest imports, exports, and Michael Jackson's favorite Leicester fella. You'll get to know who's him. There's a new statue on Jubilee Square. Across the road from BBC Leicester, facing the high-crust replica, sits down a copper blob in front of a fancy Victorian table. On the table, also made of copper, rests a rusty high tea tray packed with artificial scones and sandwiches. Next to the tray, a teapot, same material as everything else, and a couple of delicate teacups. Across the blob, a sculpted chair invites you to sit in, to play, as you may have done with your dolls and cuddly toys, to spend your afternoon having a blast with your metallic companion. As you sit on this chair, you notice the blob is wearing a three-piece suit, a monocle hanging from his front pocket, and a rose pinned to his label. It is, in fact, a special occasion. The Elephant Man is having tea with you. Joseph Merrick, thick skin, bare soul, was born in our hometown, as many people may forget. He spent a chunk of his life traveling the world as part of a freak show, causing heart attacks and miscarriages north and south. It is rumored his mom went through a similar scare during his pregnancy, as she was taken by surprise by a circus pachyderm. That's where his nickname comes from. That's where, according to superstition, his curse comes from. When he was rescued by a doctor, he got a bedroom for sleeping, a bathroom for showering, and a table for eating. Mostly alone, but sometimes in company. The wealthy, the famous, and the royal will pay to spend an afternoon with him chatting, sipping Earl Grey, feeling blessed for not being that ugly, like you are right now, you chicken git. You feel lucky for not looking that manging, but that mange has a statue and is remembered for years to come, and you don't and never will. He would talk about music, art, philosophy, theatre. What do you talk about? No, he did not watch I'm a Celebrity last night. No, he doesn't support the Foxes. He doesn't follow Rob Delaney on Twitter. And he's got no opinion about the red cups at Starbucks. Why are you talking to a statue anyway? Are you really that lonely? So is he. That's why he puts up with your banter. Bring him Nando's next time, won't you? That copper statue of Joseph Merrick is now your best friend. You come every working day at lunchtime. You tell your workmates you're eating with your girlfriend. You tell your girlfriend you're eating with your workmates. You only want to be with him. He's clever, he's witty, and he's got a spotless sense of style. You start carrying a rose on your label and a monocle in your pocket. Your mom calls when you're busy. Your dad calls when you're busy too. No one is as cool as Joe. And yes, you brought him Nando's. Your Instagram has more pictures of him than your baby, taken from every angle. Shot of his right foot, shot of his left cheek, shot of his hand close to the teapot, a dog face selfie, a crying selfie, sitting on his lap, pretending affiliation. You love him, you love him, you love him. He's the one who understands you. One day the radio station has some sort of festival in Jubilee Square. They bring real elephants and you make jokes about the elephants. Sorry. Ah yeah, so yeah, one day the radio station has some sort of festival in Jubilee Square. They bring real elephants and make jokes about the elephant square. You come in shouting, "He is not an animal!" Yes, you've seen the movie. "He is a human being!" They arrest you for punching the sound guy. You're fired, disowned, and your ex has full custody. You forgot about the living by trying to redeem yourself with the inert representation of what happened before your time. Just that Mary was no monster, but you are now. Yeah, the part for.
Oh, I have not been paying attention. Maybe like 3 minutes?
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So now we're going. Now we're going to the seaside. We're going to Mexico, and this is a song about a heartbreak in Mexico. It's called Summer Remedial. They ordered the coconut mashi because that's what he had ordered before. He was on a serious quest to revive his memories and associate his whole books, all inclusive, with more positive moments. Happy anniversary, princess, he said, rising his mimosa to climb with his second wife, Bellini. Little did he know that mimosa was just a fancy name for box fish. He didn't know about it before. He still didn't know that day, and probably never would. 10 years before, he had brought his first wife to the very same place, on the very same resort, and on the very same date. She was having a Bellini too, wearing a blue dress and a crown of native flowers. Amaris is a knife, lightweight, and she's allergic to flowers, allergic to seafood, to sand, just like she used to. Denise, just like then, he didn't listen. He never did. He recreated the memories and brought on the mistakes. So it came as no surprise to anyone but himself that he was prone to receive the same results. I don't think so, she replied. Actually, we need to talk. Our last one also happens at the seaside, and it's about self-love. And it's called Somewhere in Lanzarote. That's pretty fun. Talina is 19 and it's her first holiday without her parents. She's come with her 3 best friends, all of them smaller than her. They only wear black at funerals. They only wear senior clothes at fancy dress parties. But this is not a story about Talina's friends. This is a story about Talina, and she's wearing a bikini. She dared herself to do it after reading a few blogs. In secret, she went to trendy plus-size shops in Birmingham where not many people knew her, let alone her crush from uni, let alone her parents' workmates. She picked up the teeny tiny polka dot bikini and trembling went to the till, nearly tempted to drop her choice and go for the navy blue swimsuit with a built-in miniskirt, for the black tankini, for the flowery kaftan. She still went ahead and got the teeny tiny polka dot bikini and felt like her soul fled from her solar plexus after handing out her savings. Now she's wearing it by the poolside, covered with her jumbo towel. Her friends smaller than her, going down the sides, chit-chatting and splish-splashing in the water. She's come so far for this. The old Talina would have never gone on a beach holiday with her friends. The old Talina didn't have any friends. Come on, Tally. But this one does, and they love her. Join us, girl, have a swim. And she also has herself. Come on in, the water is fine. And it is. And from now on, it always will be.